like what is allergy? Something you don't like and it reaction by you which is manifested as undesirable symptoms. I give you a small example. Suppose somebody comes to my office whom I don't like. You can say I'm allergic to him. What I do? Behave in a manner which is against the social norms so that he should not feel very comfortable. And as it is undesirable effect, this is the allergy is the person and the allergic reaction is my behavior. Now, if we have to be work together, what happens? First, it is an intolerance. Secondly, we start ignoring each other. That you also stay, I also stay, but we have no interaction. Rather, we have a harsh attitude towards each other. As the time goes on, we think, oh, you are not that bad. So we start talking to each other. Time, a time comes when we get dependent on each other and we learn to live with it. This in nutshell, my experience of allergy. So we should not be afraid of allergy. And what are the possible allergens? Anything on the earth can be an allergen. I got an allergic test report first time when I saw it runs in few, and probably I was looking for a substance to which he is not allergic. There was hardly anything. And the comment of the person was, sir, with so much allergy, probably I have to go to Himalayas and take water only. But there also, it is written that cold wind can cause an allergy. So what to do? So possible allergy can be anything. How to identify? When a patient walks in, probably history and aggravating and relieving factors speaks volumes about allergy before going for any test or even touching the patient. So aggravating, relieving factors and history is so important. People can say, when I go to morning walk, a blow of cold air causes me allergic and I start sneezing and all that. Physical examination has a very limited role to confirmation of the symptoms and to look out for deviated nasal septum, inferior turbinate hypertrophy, or sinusitis, or any anatomical abnormalities. Avoidance of allergens is utmost important. That may be the known allergens which you come to know about, people should try to know. And sometimes people can have a history. I am all right in the whole of the house. When I go to my bedroom, I start getting sneezing. So what could be the cause? Can be mites. You get a vacuum clean, change the mattress, and patient is all right. So such simple thing is insulation. This stress a lot. Allergy, if I don't come into contact, if a person whom you are allergic to, you don't see, तो यार आपस में मिलो नहीं ना, then what is the problem? How to avoid? Now in this COVID period, lot of cases has come down because morning walkers, either they are not going for morning walk or they are using mask and caps. That is saving them from the many of the allergens. I, over a decade, I am using oil. Just before the talk, somebody called me from Delhi. I tried everything. I am following your advice. What is that? I will like to just explain a bit, and all of the experts can give their opinion in the end. I ask my patient with the normal treatment, whatever it is that I will come for, before lunch, dinner, and breakfast. Get mustard oil. Why mustard oil? It is easily available in all the houses. It is a pungent one. I ask, boil it out, cool it, keep it in a bottle. Take a dropper before breakfast, lunch, dinner with the dropper, 1 ml in each nostril. Close your nose by this. Then you breathe in and out so that the oil column ringes cavity. And at the end of 3 or 4, you take it out through the mouth by this. You do it like this, then you take it off. This helps a lot. Number one, it makes a physical barrier. If you remember our childhood days or when we go to holy bath in the Ganges or some places, we are feeling chilled. Some people put mustard oil in their body and they go and dip. So this makes an insulation which helps the allergens to keep away. And the post-nasal drip, which keeps on coming, getting accumulated in the posterior layers, that is, we are squeezing it off. So that helps a lot. Some people who cannot tolerate oil can apply cream. There used to be some nasal filters. Nowadays, not is used. I don't undermine the importance of the saline douche because saline helps in the ciliary movement that you can do, but oil as a barrier. Then, as I explained, sensitization and learn to live with it. As I explained with the example of a person coming to your room. This is what sensitization is. This is a real story. A child was severely sensitive to this type of crop. I don't know the name of it. His father said he was posted in a place where this agriculture was going on in a Rajasthan village. And then the child, after some time, he goes and plays in the field. So that is the natural desensitization and sensitization. Sorry. Yeah. All of us are aware that nose has got a largest surface area other than the skin. So when the breeze of air or any allergens comes, they are going to affect all that. And you can see the volume of the nose. I need not to say. So what is rhinitis? It is inflammation of the membranes lining the nose. Allergic rhinitis is most common type of chronic rhinitis. It affects almost average 23%, but just now Deepak said it is around 30%. In our OPD, I have made an analysis since last couple of weeks before pre-COVID, almost 30% of the patients in our OPD has some or the other allergic rhinitis symptom. When I talk to my chest colleague, they say almost all bronchial asthma patients have some allergic element. And when I was in hospital, our nasal sprays, a major part used to be consumed by the chest people. And this is an era, what we call allergic generation. Like middle-aged people, they are intolerable to many things. So is the allergy. So this is called allergic generation. The symptoms all of us know, they're one or more: nasal congestion, itching, rhinorrhea, or sneezing. This slide I wanted to put in allergic rhinitis and we in COVID era, because allergy, and I could get just one publication, that is euphoria statement. Here we see the common symptoms are nasal blockage, rhinorrhea, and sneezing. When a patient walks into somebody's OPD, he has got the eyebrows raised. Is it not a COVID? So allergic rhinitis has got itching and conjunctivitis, whereas COVID usually have fever, malaise, myalgia. Anosmia is a recognized symptom. And an interesting story I tell you, Dr. Puya, he personal communication, he told me in Italy, he was the first person reported with anosmia and then he tested positive. And then when he published this, he's been accepted all over. Dry cough and diarrhea. These are the symptoms. Now, when I go through that study, it says early or mild COVID-19 symptoms may be confused with allergic rhinitis. Uncontrolled allergic rhinitis may increase risk of viral dissemination. Allergic immunotherapy is not immunosuppressive and does not represent a risk factor for more severe COVID-19 induced disease. Topical and inhaled corticosteroids are not contraindicated and may even be beneficial for COVID-19 infection, especially for those who have got anosmia. Allergic airway disease has not been proved to be a risk factor for more severe COVID-19 disease. Sudden and complete anosmia may be an early sign of COVID-19 infection, differentiating it from allergic rhinitis. We don't have anosmia in allergic rhinitis. Presentation, all of us know, it may be perennial when it is throughout the year. Common causes which stays throughout the year are the causes. Seasonal, depending on the season, spring season or pollen season. rhinitis with asthma that I will discuss in details. Then going for the guidelines, when I search the journals, the European Forum has published three type of guideline: area, British and pediatric guideline. Most of these guidelines are based on the symptomatology and related to treatment. Allergic rhinitis and its impact on asthma. I said what this area stands for. So this is the full form, and it is divided into intermittent or persistent depending on the duration of symptoms. Again, it can be moderate and mild. British guidelines has divided into mild, and they have clubbed together moderate and the severe varieties. Then pediatric European guideline, again, it was based on the treatment, and in all they advise saline douching and avoid triggers. We read lot about saline douching, which has got a role. Please try the oil thing which I have said, and I will like to hear from you what is the effect. Here in the pediatric guideline, they say if the symptoms are poorly controlled, step up the therapy means you add on something with the antihistaminic leukotriene receptor antagonist or corticosteroid, and step down if patient is doing well. All of us know there is sensitization, early phase, late phase, which I explained with the example. Now, when the allergens reaches the nose, what happens? There are allergic reactions, that is, you can see in the diagram, hyperemia and other things, and there is a burning sensation in the nose. These diagrams have, it's not my own, I have taken from the source I have mentioned. All of us know about early late phase mediators, and we have lot of discussion on this. I am not going to go into the details. As I said, I will talk about the practical things. Now, early phase response in allergic rhinitis, symptoms are vasodilatation, rhinorrhea, secretion of watery mucus, itching, sensory nerve stimulation causes itching, and sneezing because of again sensory nerve stimulation and allergic inflammation. If we summarize the early phase, it's primarily histamine-induced mast cell-dependent events causing rhinorrhea, nasal itching, sneezing, vasodilatation, that is reddening, and edema, which I have shown in the diagram. These events are exaggerated by cholinergic and neuropeptide nerve reflexes. Now, nasal vasculature has particular feature. They are arteriovenous shunts, valveless venous sinusoids, or capacitance vessels. These are the nasal vessels. Nerve of the nose contain vasodilator neuropeptides. The neuropeptides are upregulated by allergic inflammation, and venous congestion is exacerbated. A word about allergic rhinitis and asthma. All of us know one airway, one disease, or one approach. It was found statistically, patient with allergic rhinitis, more than half of the patient with allergic rhinitis have also allergic asthma, or if not treated, can tend to go for it. And the scenario is little more different and alarming. With allergic asthma, as much as 90% patients have allergic rhinitis. Asthma and allergic rhinitis, two related conditions linked to one common airway because of their frequent overlapping condition, involvement of similar tissue. It is found if you neglect allergic rhinitis, asthma get worse, or vice versa. If you don't treat asthma, allergic rhinitis get worse, or the vice versa. There are common inflammatory processes, common inflammatory cells, and common mediators. There are shared pathophysiology. We know they are characterized by common triggers, similar inflammatory cascade on exposure to allergen, similar pattern of early and late phase response, infiltration by the same cells, mainly eosinophil and mast cells, several potential connecting pathway, including systemic transmission of inflammatory mediators. Now, this diagram, again, I have taken from Dr. Muller. Nose is the guardian of lung. Nose is not just an air canal or a tube which conducts air. It has got the mechanism of filtration, humidification, warming, that is air conditioning, all three, and immunity. It has got immune mechanism also. If the nose is blocked, all these mechanisms are gone and only it behaves like a tube. And so if it is diseased, there is more of asthmatic attacks. Nose is the guardian of lung, and it was seen that treatment of allergic rhinitis reduces asthma related event by 5-fold. Asthma emergencies are reduced by treating allergic rhinitis if you give second generation antihistaminic, nasal corticosteroid, or combination of both. Emergency room visit of asthma patient is reduced up to 63% and hospitalization by 73%. So looking after nose help to protect the lung. Now, I will cover this thing, everybody knows, so I am not going to go in detail. Diagnosing allergic rhinitis, all of us know what are the symptoms: watery diarrhea, sneezing, nasal obstruction, pruritus, with or without conjunctivitis. Try to classify it, find the allergen and treat accordingly. What is not allergic rhinitis? That is, unilateral symptoms are more nasal obstruction, mucopurulent rhinia, unilateral, posterior rhinorrhea or the postnasal drip, thick mucus, pain, recurrent epistaxis, anosmia. Probably it is not dealing with the allergic rhinitis. When there is a watery rhinorrhea and sneezing, patient may be allergic. If there is nasal obstruction plus symptoms occurring at the same time of the year, patient is likely to be allergic. Bilateral symptoms are important. Here, bilateral symptom with or with minus pruritus, tearing, redness that can be associated, patient is most likely to be allergic. Treat according to allergy line. If no, there is postnasal drip, colored discharge, go for an nasal endoscopy, CT examination, and treat the underlying cause. Now, how to take care of the allergic rhinitis? The environmental control, allergen barrier, and drug treatment. These three can treat almost 80-90% of our cases. Allergen specific immunotherapy, therapeutic vaccine, anti-IgE, complementary alternative medicine, and other treatment are required only select 20% maximum number of patients. Meaning hereby, don't jump onto immunotherapy before trying the conventional treatment. That is, allergen barrier and drug treatment are good enough. Now, if we see algorithm, allergen avoidance and patient education is at the top. Mild intermittent symptoms, second generation oral or intranasal antihistaminics are sufficient. Mild to moderate intranasal corticosteroid alone or first line treatment. Consider nasal irrigation or decongestant for nasal congestion for a short period. Nasal decongestant should not be used for a very long time. Consider ipratropium if there is lot of secretion or rhinorrhea. This acts wonder. I use in my clinical practice. Consider oral intranasal antihistaminic for persistent nasal and ocular symptom. If severe, you can have a combination of intranasal corticosteroid or oral or intranasal antihistaminic, leukotriene receptor antagonist, or intranasal cromolyn. Nowadays, it is not available very often, but earlier days we have used it. If the symptom persists, then only consider immunotherapy or alternate treatment. Here also, allergen avoidance, nasal irrigation, I said about the oil, probiotic, herbal treatment, that times help. And sometimes patient, if he feels something is being done, that gets relief of his symptoms. This is again repetition of what I have already said. As per the area recommendation, they have tabulated it. And this, based on the symptom, you find that intranasal corticosteroid is Ramban in all symptoms. Oral antihistaminics is so. Intranasal antihistaminic, when the ocular symptoms, it won't help, other it helps, so on and so forth. This all of us know, so I am not going to go in detail. Classification of treatment used in patients, again, area has classified according to the requirement of treatment into T1, T2, T3, T4, and T5 grading. So let me cross. Yeah. Now, again, the euphoria treatment algorithm, I was when looking for the different journals, I could find out this was a couple of days back. Simon was part of that, I think, symposia, and probably Samir was also there. They had contributed in this, and I was listening to it. Uh, they have published a allergic rhinitis pocket guide. It is more or less the same thing which you are doing, but in a little more organized manner, and they discussed about the pros and cons of it. And more or less, this is based on the visual analog score of the symptoms on a scale of 5 to 10. Again, they say if it is less than 5, we start with the first line of treatment, then anti-H1 oral or intranasal. I found more or less the same protocol followed for all the things. And at the last comes the allergic immunotherapy. That is, again and again, I say, please stop before considering that. Try to exhaust the conventional treatment. If that fails, then only go to allergologist and AIT. This is British guideline, and the symptoms more or less same as the area guidelines. Overall recommendations we have already discussed. The grading wise, combination of intranasal corticosteroid, oral antihistaminic, or intracorticosteroid alone. These are the various combination has been discussed. The best is initial treatment of intranasal corticosteroid and antihistaminic for say 2 weeks. Start this treatment and then continue with the intranasal corticosteroid. My practice is usually most not in therapy, I say if the symptom stop, you please take care, take other care, like saline douching and all that. And the some of the facts which come out of my practice and found in the publication, this I will like to say, because there is a wrong practice people are doing. Combined antagonism of histamine and produces predominant inhibition of early and late phase respectively. Early phase antihistaminic, late phase is the leukotriene. I am using leukotriene inhibitor.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Now
Yes,
it is
yes.
reflecting. Yeah, we are able to see. Just you need to enlarge the screen, sir. I mean the slides, the presentation view.
So go to the
Let me
slide.
unmute myself. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you.
Basically, laptop, half the space is occupied by the Zoom buttons. So sometime I have to search for it. Yeah.
Yeah, no issues, sir. No issues. You can
Sorry for the interruption.
No problem. Yeah.
Now it is okay.
Yes, it is
Yes,
okay,
yes,
sir.
yes.
Dr. Kausal, is it okay? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
sir.
I was talking about the some facts. The let me yeah. Combination of the antihistamine, antagonism of histamine and leukotriene produce predominantly inhibition of the early and late phase that I've explained. Then H1 receptor plus leukotriene receptor and antagonist have additive effect in prevention of allergy and bronchospasm. This probably everybody of us have experienced. This is very important point. Histamine H1 that is responsible for allergy, and H2 blockers, that is peptic ulcer, H2 blockers potentiates effect of H1 blocker. This in practice I have seen, and there is a publication in the Skin Journal I have seen. You got my point? If you are giving say ranitidine with levocetirizine, the effect of the levocetirizine or bilastine is enhanced with the H2 blocker as well. Am I audible, sir? Somebody responds?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Combination of 2 or more H1 antagonistic has no benefit. This is again very important factor. When I see many of the prescription, they say take a fexofenadine in the morning and levocetirizine in the night, or bilastine in the morning and fexofenadine in the night. So the combination of 2 or more H1 antagonists have no benefits. This is again reported. Corticosteroid with potent anti-inflammatory properties elicit effect on various cells, including mast cells and eosinophil. It elicit effect on mediators like histamine, leukotriene, and cytokines. We heard of cytokine storm. And what is the first line of treatment? the corticosteroids. So the corticosteroid and allergy can never be separated. Combination of azolastin, again I have said, which is used as a mast cell stabilizer, and fluticasone prevents allergy and inflammation reaction. Foods like apples, berries, black tea, broccoli, grapes, green tea are natural antihistaminic. This is published in the Journal of Nutrition. There are newer therapies. Again, it is they called patient education by internet and the smartphone. Then pharmacotherapy, which we have just discussed. Then there are many things. They say acupressure, some of the anti-IgE, etc. Now, when we search this part, now I come to the second part of my presentation, H1 antihistaminic therapy. What we want with an H1 therapy? That is, it should be very effective in relieving symptom, should have a rapid onset and long duration of action, should not have any unwanted effect or cause drowsiness. Who are we treating with H1 antihistaminic? A child. For him, it should be easy to take, lack of drowsiness, good sleep, school learning should be okay, and more than that, the safety profile should be very high so that the overdose should not kill him. In adult, good sleep is required, but in lack of drowsiness. Nobody wants a drowsiness. Sleep is okay, but drowsiness is not. Safety while driving. An elderly person again wants a good sleep, but no drowsiness. And again, the safety profile is very important. There should not be any confusion caused by the treatment of this. When the discovery of antihistaminic started, lot of substances were tried. All first generation antihistaminics are poorly selective and have many unwanted side effects. This blood-brain barrier causes sedation, and so the H1 first generation are poor on effectiveness and higher on the unwanted effects. A word about the histamine and H1 receptor effect in brain. All of us should know there are approximately 64,000 histamine producing neuron located in the tuberomammary nucleus. They are responsible for arousal in circadian sleep and wake cycle that reinforces learning and memory, fluid balance, suppresses feeding, controlling body temperature. So this histamine in the brain is a useful and our friend. What happens? Blocking the brain H1 receptors by antihistaminic causes deeper abnormal sleep at night with delayed or reduced REM sleep and arousal in the circadian sleep. So this is a big problem, okay, with the earlier antihistaminic. Now in children, the safety is most important. If you see a normal child and a child with allergic rhinitis with placebo and first generation and second generation, current symptomatic allergic rhinitis increases the risk of children unexpectedly, dropping a grade in summer examination by 40%. These are important for a European perspective, but so is our perspective as well. A student who takes sedative antihistaminics on the day of test are 70% more likely to drop a grade. These are proved. And safety in children, diphenhydramine like of substance are used. There has been intoxication. Parents used to give them, child giving just to sleep and calm down, and especially daycare provider use it as a relief from the duty. And it has been reported, deaths have been reported with this. Whereas second generation are much more safer. A children up to 180 milligram of cetirizine, which is 50 times the overdose, survived and had no major complications. And this first generation having a longer half-life, if you have taken one of these, do you think that it contributes to accident? Alcohol contributes 87% and antihistaminics 72%. This is statistically proved. Decreased productivity at the work. We have seen it with the active type of things, and increased incident of accidents in adults. For elderly, it has been seen cumulative use of first generation antihistaminic with anticholinergic activity in the elderly associated with the increased risk of dementia. So what should be an ideal antihistaminic, potent and selective H1 receptor blocker, additive anti-allergic activity. There should be a rapid onset of action, long duration of action, no drug interaction in the liver, safe in patients with the renal and hepatic impairment, no potential for the interaction with other drugs, no sedation, cardiac safe, and effective in treatment of intermittent and persistent rhinitis. If we see second generation antihistaminic above the green line, they are divided according to their sedating and less sedating capacity. And you can see for yourself, and we have practiced that these are the real findings. So if we see on a one-to-one basis, there are certain issues which H1 receptor selectivity, some more, some are common, metabolism, then doses in the renal impairment had to be adjusted, in the hepatic impairment has to be adjusted, and some of them interact with the other drugs with alcohol, especially these are cetirizine and levocetirizine is to be taken with caution, contraindicated in the severe renal impairment, etc. Now, I will compare the fexofenadine and bilastine, why there is such a difference of the duration of action. In fexofenadine, it is a poor absorption, and the reason is this one. I will come to it later on. Yeah. In the fexofenadine, it is actively secreted by P glycoprotein and weakly absorbed by OAT1A2 to the bloodstream. So the duration of action is small, whereas bilastine is strongly absorbed here, so there is a longer duration of action, and rest is excreted into the feces. Now, this inhibition of the wheel and flare with bilastine and cetirizine, all of you will agree with me, cetirizine in the early phase is more effective than any of the anti-allergics. That is my practice as well, and I have seen it also. But the long term, it is lasting for 12 hours, is more in bilastine. Only side effect of the cetirizine is drowsiness. So that is one thing. Otherwise, for a severe symptom, still I find the early response is better with the cetirizine. Here in the wheel, if you see the response, and in the flare, if you see, the bilastine has an advantage over the cetirizine, but long-term result in cetirizine is better than the bilastine. These are just, indicative of this. So bilastine and fexofenadine, we have discussed that why there is a long time life. This slide is being shifted. Now, in allergic rhinitis, there is histamine, which is responsible for rhinorrhea, itching and sneezing, and cytokines responsible for the nasal blockage. And primary treatment is H1 antihistaminic with steroid or leukotriene inhibitors. The double-blind randomized placebo-controlled trial of these with the different variables has done, and it was found that with the placebo, if you see, the bilastine and cetirizine almost neck to neck, bilastine has significantly improved symptom of seasonal allergic rhinitis and a better adverse effect. What is that adverse effect? If the renal patients, you cannot give the cetirizine and there is a sedation. Otherwise, efficacy-wise, if you say they are neck to neck. This is the Vienna Challenge Chamber total nasal symptom. What they have done, this was a double-blind cross study of 75 allergic volunteers challenged with grass pollen for 6 hours on day 1 and 4 hours on day 2. And you can see for yourself the response. Green line is the cetirizine, this is the bilastine. So again, comparable. And in children, the safety profile, analysis of the pharmacokinetic and safety data has shown that 10 milligram is safe compared to the placebo. And so is with the elderly also. There is a high efficacy and, more important, optimal safety profile contribute to improving the quality of life of senior patients. So you can see most of the first generation, and here bilastine in particular, have more effectiveness and unwanted side effects are much lower. So again, we come back to what is the ideal antihistaminic. Here bilastine meets all the criteria. Rest has got some of the other disadvantages, like levocetirizine causes sedation, fexofenadine duration of is small. So to summarize, allergic rhinitis is one of the type 1 allergic disease. It is immunoglobulin E mediated inflammation developed through exposure of the nasal mucosa to allergens. Antihistaminics are the most common class of medications. We have already discussed the disadvantage of first generation and advantages of the second generation and belastin over the others. I think this slide I shared from Simam. Do what you can with what you have and where you are. Thank you very much for your patience hearing. Very sorry for the internet glitch. Now the floor is open to all. Yes, Dr. SP Singh, you wanted to say something. Please unmute and speak, whosoever wants to. Dr. Simam, sir.
Sir, I'm here. I'm waiting for the moderator. Let Dr. Singh, sir, start off whatever he wants to.
Okay. Okay. If there are any questions, I will be happy to take that also. Yes.
He has not unmuted himself as yet. So you can stop sharing.
I think,
Once you stop sharing screen, then everybody else can join in.
okay, that will be, I don't know how I will do it. I will do it.
To unmute everybody.
Please unmute everybody. How do I stop sharing?
Same
Simam,
place.
I'm not getting the key.
Go to the same place, sir, where it was. Go onto the top. Just put your cursor right onto the top of the screen. You'll get
It is on the bottom.
No. Now you have to
Okay,
go
I
to
will.
the top, and something will slide down, and from
Yeah, I got it. It stops there. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Dr. SP Singh needs to unmute himself.
Dr. SP Singh, unmute. Yeah.
Okay,
Dr. SP Singh, please speak.
okay, sir. Dr. Munga, really you have
Yes, sir.
given a very good talk. As you have said, this talk will be different from all the talks of the allergic rhinitis. Really, you have done it and talk and covered all the aspects of the allergic rhinitis, and it is very nice talk and worth to learning. Thank you so much.
Dr. PK Singh, sir, please unmute and speak.
You hear me, sir?
Yeah, very well.
So good evening to all of you. I was little late in joining you, but
Yeah.
whatever I have seen, the pharmacology of the drugs you have dealt, it is wonderful. And in comparison of all the three medicines you have done, it is almost very informative, and it is beneficial for all the clinicians. So I must congratulate your work. I must thank you very much. You have done a wonderful job. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody is open to speak? Dr. Ahila? Dr. Ahila, sir?
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Ayla,
One nimisam.
evening, Ayla.
Can you hear me?
Of course.
Yeah, very clear.
One thing you didn't touch my favorite topic.
Yes, surgery.
Yes.
I have said about the surgery little bit that you should do the obstruction part. About the neurectomy, I wanted to put it in and I left it for yourself. You can go ahead, sir.
Okay.
I knew you will be there, so I left it for you.
Okay. Just I want
Your
that.
video, I was just day before yesterday, I was seeing and I thought I should include it, but then I wanted to leave it for you. You can give your comment, sir.
Yeah, actually,
Kaushal, but now you're unmuted. Sorry, Ayla.
Yes.
Go ahead.
yes.
Hello.
Yes. I had been doing it for the past 10 years. And
Yeah,
nowadays, initially when I started the surgery 8 years, 8 years back, that time there were only 4 publications. Now it's around 70 publications are there already.
Yes.
And many people have started doing it. And in future, that will be also one of the treatment protocols it will be. it will take some more time, and I think it will be one. And
Yeah,
in
that's why.
a short while also, it will come into the textbooks also.
Ahila,
Yeah, I wanted to include, but I left it for you. Dr. Satish, sir. Dr. Satish Jain, sir, your views. Please unmute and speak, sir. We will love to hear you, sir.
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was amazing, sir. Yeah,
Oh, thank
presentation
you,
was
sir.
so informative. You covered all aspects. Very much required aspect was the pharmacology part, and that you covered thoroughly. Amazing,
Thank you,
amazing.
sir.
Very, very informative. Sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
हेलो
Dr. Deepak, sir.
अरे मैं क्या बात करूं बॉस ने बात कर दिया व्हाटएवर
King
सतीश
of
सेज आई
what?
विल सेकंड इट
He's getting his
Yeah.
allergens into his
Sir, one
garden.
thing, I don't want to listen to my praise, sir. Please tell me if I have missed certain point, like Dr. Ahila said. Dr. Vijay, you are doing lot of cases.
Ahila sir, if you don't mind, I'll just ask Ahila a question.
Yeah, please, sir.
Sure, sure.
Ahila, for the benefit of some of the younger crowd that is joined in, can you please tell them on what is the criteria you decide on which you want to take up the patient for surgery, and how long before you do any kind of surgery do you give them the complete medical treatment? You can
Okay.
elaborate on that for the rest of them to listen.
Yes.
Thank you, Seema.
बहुत देर
I
आने के लिए अब कर लेगा
somebody's voice is coming.
Dr. Kranti's
Okay.
voice. I have unmuted her, no problem.
Okay. Actually, if it's a pure allergy case, I always treat them for medically first allergy avoidance medical treatment one day. When they say pure allergy cases, I take them for surgery very rarely. When they say that I don't want to take the medication for long term, I don't want the medication, I want my sneezing and rhinorrhea to come down. If they ask, then I do. Many a times when these chronic allergy cases will have a
Ahila, sorry to interrupt, but just for the
Yes.
benefit of the people, how much time? So how much time of medical treatment before you decide, ki, okay, this guy might be worth doing a surgery in?
Before answering this question, I will answer the other part. Most of these allergy cases, they will have some sinusitis or septal deviation, turbinate. So mostly I will do this allergy surgery along with the sinusitis surgery or with the septal deviation and give a relief with that and otherwise many times when the people do the sinusitis surgery, fist surgery alone or with septoplasty alone, then they tell them to take antihistamine for the nasal allergy or nasal intranasal corticosteroid sprays also after surgery. When you combine this surgery along with the septoplasty or a fist, then there is no need to take the medication. And that's the way I started my practice in the initial period and everything. Now, for pure allergy, I do when the patient says that I don't want to take medical treatment for long term, or I am bored of, I am going here, this doctor, that doctor, they are giving medicine. I want a permanent solution of getting rid of the rhinorrhea and sneezing, then I operate. It's not timed exact duration. I will wait for, not like that.
Dr.
all
Ahila,
depends on the
sir,
patient.
I will like to say something on this aspect while preparing this topic. Basically, if there is an element of allergy, that has to be by the first three things I said: avoidance, identification, and medical treatment. If he is all right, surgery has a
Exactly.
role if there is some obstructive
Yes.
pathology. And as I said about the
No,
barrier of that the oil business and what surgery you are doing, it is excellent for the vasomotor rhinitis. But when I was looking at the literature, nowadays they don't support the surgery of the Vidian neurectomy and all that. They say the effects are short lasting. In say 20 years back, I have done about 10 cases and initial results were excellent. But post 3 years, when they stopped all the medications, and again there was a recurrence of the symptoms. So maybe either the nerve has regenerated or I do not know what is the cause is. So I will always like to take care of the allergy first, then go for surgery, unless and until there is some abnormalities. What is your comment, sir?
Yeah. You can treat medically, but if the patient
Yes.
wants, I don't want to take medication, I want a solution, then you can always go and try the surgery.
But
which
then
will
you
give
have to explain the results. Then you have to explain the result. Okay.
result,
So-
if you properly identify the nerve and coagulate the nerve or cut the nerve, the
Yes,
results are
that
good.
is very important. I agree.
I think Dr. Satish Jain is here in this show. He is also doing this surgery. Dr. Satish, I think he has left.
No, he's there.
He is there.
Just gotten up for tea. So can I?
Anyway, anybody else want
Can
to,
I- can I just-
Simam,
Yeah, can I
anybody
add
wants
something?
to share something?
Yeah,
Dr.
Kaushal wanted to
Srinivas,
say something.
Minis, I can
Kaushal,
see
Yeah.
some names.
Yeah, Munka sir.
Kranti, Sapna.
Sir, hello.
Munka
Hello,
sir.
sir. Hello, sir. Munka, sir. Hello, sir.
Anybody want to speak?
Srinivas,
Please unmute.
one second. Can I, if I may, Dr. Singh, if you just allow me, since you're moderating, I'm just seeing. So it is Kaushal, then Satish and Srinivas in that line. So can you please put in your comments one by one? Kaushal,
sir.
unmute. Kaushal.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, you are audible.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was muted actually, couldn't speak. Munka sir, excellent presentation. I think you covered everything in the medical part as well as the etiology part. I think one take-home message in this is the barrier method that you have advocated. It is something which people have not really spoken about, and I think it's a very practical point. We can implement this in our day-to-day practice and see the outcome. As you said, it is kind of successful. So I would definitely like to try it on my patient.
In the COVID era, Kaushal, we are all barrier anyway.
See, Deepak sir had worn a face shield and he was walking. That was a barrier. So this mustard oil will act as a barrier for the allergens also probably. Let's hope. I think Munka sir left.
I must have got disconnected. I think Srinivas and Satish were wanting to say something.
Yes.
Yes, boss. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Satish, go ahead.
So, like I agree with Dr. Ailasamy, we do posterior nasal laryngectomy quite often, but not solely for the management of allergic rhinitis. Mostly we combine when we are doing surgery in patients having allergic rhinitis as well. Like if you are operating for a FES with associated allergic rhinitis, we always combine posterior nasal laryngectomy. Solely like septoplasty, sometimes you do for obstruction, and patient having history of allergy, we combine posterior nasal laryngectomy. Solely in certain situations when
Yes.
congestion is the major problem. Some patients are sick of congestion, and this posterior nasal laryngectomy relieves out of all the symptoms of allergic congestion the most. That's how we indicate the surgery in our patient with allergic rhinitis.
So, Satish, if I may just try to understand and summarize it for the people.
Yes.
Sorry, sir, Singh sir, if you don't mind. Okay, he's muted. So, what you are saying is that in allergic rhinitis, there are two types of surgeries that you are dealing with. One is septoplasty FES and the other is videoneurectomy.
No. If I am doing a FES for polyposis, suppose,
Huh.
and patient has allergic rhinitis as well,
Okay.
I would love to combine posterior nasal laryngectomy along with my sinus surgery.
So that's what I'm saying. So we are discussing thoda ulta, allergic rhinitis with associated polyposis, right?
Yes.
Whenever you're going to operate on that patient for the polyposis or for the septum,
Yes.
you will invariably definitely do a videoneurectomy.
And it has a
But never
definite
an
advantage.
isolated videoneurectomy.
Videoneurectomy no more. It's posterior nasal neurectomy nowadays.
But never isolated.
Not really. In some patients we have done who are really sick of congestion, and we tried them along with the septoplasty. They did improve, but we don't know how much, and it is beneficial to advocate that.
Great. So Munka sir, you need to summarize this, what Satish has said by the end. I think he logged out. He's logged out by mistake. Srinivas.
Sir, I wanted to tell that it was an excellent practical points based presentation. So I really loved it. And one more thing is, when he was explaining the mustard oil, the voice got cut. So I just wanted to ask him to repeat that. What exactly is this regimen of
Yeah,
mustard oil?
I tell you, it's a very simple thing. If you remember, especially in the Eastern India, there is a practice of putting oil in the nose and all the orifices like, navel and all that. So as I told you, I took this lead that when you are going to take a bath in Ganges or somewhere can you
Yes,
get
sir. Yes.
me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you keep the mustard oil, it is available in all the household, but because it is so pungent, if you boil it, the smell part goes. Boil, cool it, keep in a bottle. Then before breakfast, lunch and dinner, just take 1 drop, 1 ml each nostril, then close it with this like this. Can you see me? And then respiration in and out. So that will rinse the whole nasal cavity. End of it, you take it out from the mouth like this. And then you take it off. So that will clean the nose. There is no debris left, and it will form a coating over that. That because of the viscosity of the mustard oil, it stays for a longer time. And the post nasal drip part is gone. Along with that, I ask them to put nasal decongestant at the bedtime. So this is doing wonders, and people are reporting very good results. They don't have to repeatedly go for that. Somebody asked me, what should be the duration of the allergy treatment? This is a very tricky question. You ask 10 people, you will get different answer. Some will say lifelong. I always say, you try for 15 days at the most right now, like steam, nasal decongestant. And then as I said, I begin with the azolastin and fluticasone. After 15 days, and the oil goes on. After 15 days, if you don't have symptom, you stop for a while. If there is a re-emergence of symptoms, you go for it. And in the next go, not the combination of azolastin and fluticasone, only fluticasone is sufficient. And orally, you can give a combination of H1 blocker if there is lot of secretion with the leukotriene inhibitors. This is my protocol. Yes, sir. Any question, Srinivas?
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you for the explanation.
Welcome. Dr. Vijay Dr. Vijay, Minis, anybody want? Somebody says not able to unmute. Can you unmute? Who said it is? Minis? Minis ko please unmute kijiye na.
Whoever is the host, can you just unmute everybody? They will unmute them.
Yeah, that is what I wanted. Minis has mentioned he is not able to unmute.
Munka sir,
Yes, sir.
my personal opinion, allergic rhinitis, the surgeries have very limited value.
Yes, sir.
And I totally agree with Satish that occasionally when you really want to do something for the congestion of the turbinate, maybe you can try the posterior nasal neurectomy because it's a very simple procedure. Video neurectomy is out, the side effects and other things.
True, sir.
And as you correctly said, the reversibility of the symptoms.
Yes.
See, listening to Satish for so long now, we have realized whatever nerve you cut, there is always a compensatory mechanism coming in the way.
Yes.
Sometimes to our benefit, as in stapedotomy, and in other cases, it's sometimes not to our benefit. So I personally feel that role for surgery is very, very minimal, very minimal. The ultimate treatment is going to be medical itself.
No, but I was reading that Ahila's papers and the videos. It
Yeah.
makes sense. And then I recollected 10 years back, I have done a couple of cases, but they returned back after a couple of years.
Yeah.
So that is the thing.
And I want to know Satish's opinion about acupuncture, because some patients have claimed good relief with acupuncture as well. So Satish should be able to really highlight whether it is really worth trying it or not.
Dr. Satish, you have been asked. I think, why Dr. Satish? Dr. Simam, please unmute everybody. Dr. Satish is not,
Sir,
he is muted.
it's not in my hands. I am not able to unmute anybody. I've just
No, they say you are the host. I don't
Yes.
know.
Yes, can you hear me now, sir?
yeah. Satish, because I have kept it with everybody. I don't have the host thing. 1 minute.
Okay.
Satish, go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, one more thing. What we have been doing now for allergy for most of our patients is skin prick allergic testing and immunization as a long-term management. And this is working out like anything. So, in your experience, you have been doing this allergy treatment for, more than 3 decades. You have done so much on the pharmacology part. And now, since the immunization is coming up in a big way, how is your experience about the immunization?
Sir, frankly speaking, I have not done. I have given just gamma globulin in some patients and results were 50-50. So such patients, I prefer to send it to the allergologist because sir, allergen test, there is a problem. I know one person in Calcutta, he does allergy testing with the locally available dust. He makes his own reagents and that is probably effective because otherwise probably allergen test is not going to tell you the real story. So
Yeah, I agree with you. Allergen testing is a big gimmick.
yes, sir.
But believe me, what I know and what we have been following, blood tests have no value
Yes,
except
sir.
immunocap.
Yeah.
Immunocap has significance. The gold standard is skin prick allergic testing,
Uh-huh.
and allergens are available. Even the Merck allergens are available. Allergens from other companies are available. And the reason is, once you get a clear-cut sensitivity with that particular allergen, and we ask the same company to make the solution of the same allergen, it works.
Yeah, that is,
cannot-
it has to be like Satish, you agree with me, dust of an power plant.
Yes.
In say steel plant, power plant will be different than dust of a coal mines. And if you desensitize with X to Y, probably it doesn't work.
Yes.
What I have seen in my experience, the slow dose of the allergen itself work as an anti-allergen and desensitization.
That is the basis of immunization.
Yes,
That is the
sir.
basis
So-
of immunization.
So that
Because-
is what I say. And that oil thing, which I explained probably when we met in Patna, I told you that oil works excellent, no crusting, nothing. And even today, before this webinar, somebody from Delhi called me, sir, I tried that oil and now I have stopped everything. So that I request people to use and let me know the feedback. That can be a good idea, sir.
Sir, can I add something, sir?
Yeah,
So-
please, sir.
Munka,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah, please, sir.
Sir, congratulations on today's discussion. A very nice and very broad discussion we had. And so many people are here. So first, congratulations to all and good evening to all. One point, that was the surgical part. We were discussing about the posterior nasal neurectomy and median neurectomy. This is a very good debatable question of the role of surgery. And I think there should be a separate discussion on this point. So, Dr. Munka, please
Yeah.
arrange another meeting for this point. And
Dr.
another thing
Yeah,
about the
please go ahead.
naturopathy, what you have been adding, like that, the use of oil. So many people in all over the world, many people are using this oil, no doubt. But what amount of oil, what time to use the oil, how much oil, and how to take the oil, this is all debatable. Number two, about the yogas. There is a real some value of respiration exercise. That is inspiration, holding the inspiration, and then exhalation. One nasal cavity, and then other side nasal cavity. This breathing exercise is very important because it controls your valve system. And the valve system gives you more immunity, more resistance, more power to your body, mental power, as well as the physical power. So I think yoga has got some role in different kinds of allergen or sinus diseases. So that should be added in our discussion.
Agree, sir. I think role of surgery, Dr. Satish has very clearly said, defined what should be the role of surgery. And about the oil, I explained in details how it should be put on. I am doing it since last 10, 15 years with good results. Patients phone me and they say they have stopped medication. So this is something which I will like. It should be a multi-centric, multi-people trial. And what is the feedback? Yoga and those things are good. There is no dispute about it. Anybody else? Minis, you now unmuted. You wanted to tell something?
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you,
please.
Munka sir. Fantastic lecture and good evening all. I think Satish sir is here and Deepak sir is here.
I think
Welcome.
discussion
Thank you.
all of you make, boss, not me
It's a
only.
great,
It's a great
it's a
thing
great
that, yeah.
discussion. Now, I just had 2 points which I wanted to know.
Yeah.
One is, of course, in a lot of books you have read the role of macrolides in reducing the nasal mucosa, edema and inflammation over a period of time, maybe 1 month and 2 months is what is given, like clarithromycin. So is it effective? And regarding this mustard oil, which is quite a talk of the whole, the highlight of your talk, is it also effective in post-operative cases, especially because you
Yes,
have
sir.
maybe you
Yes,
have done a post-operative surgery, you have done a neurectomy, and the patient comes again with crusting or with limited result. So is there some role to play in that as well?
Yeah, Minis, to answer your question, second question first, I started usually with the DNS cases, and before surgery and after surgery, tell me I have stopped seeing crusting and synechiae after doing that. I shared with Dr. Satish when we met in AIIMS Patna, sir, in the douching, the saline spray has got its place because that saline douching helps protects the ciliary movement. That has got its place. You cannot replace by oil, but oil is allowing no crust formation because that forms a coating and lubrication. So that is post-op also very effective. About the role of they work as an immunomodulator, and immunomodulator, as in the COVID study they have shown, that says probably in the allergic rhinitis not much of a value. Satish want to add something, please, sir.
Yeah. So like Dr. Minesh asked about the macrolides. Macrolides are wonder drugs, but work only when the IgE is low.
Low, yes.
Allergic rhinitis is a allergic disease driven by IgE.
Yes.
So practically clarithromycin or any macrolides have no role in allergic management. Rather, these are the drugs meant for non-allergic diseases.
Yes.
They work on the neutrophilic background, not on the eosinophilic. So they should be reserved for neutrophilic driven diseases.
Like fungal rhinosinusitis and all that. Yes.
Non-eosinophilic.
Yes, sir. So I think, Minis, those
Right,
things are
Thank
clear.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Can I make a? Can I ask a question, sir?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please, sir. Most welcome. Please, Vijay.
Vijay Krishnan here.
Yeah, Vijay.
As usual, nice presentation, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thanks for joining.
Have you tried this mustard oil in atrophic rhinitis patients, sir? Will it be
Yes,
useful?
I have tried. See, I said anybody having nasal symptoms, because see, it is most physiological. It just works as a barrier, If you apply to your skin and put cold water, you don't feel that cold. And from there, the idea came, And over 10 years, I am using the use of the anti-allergics, the sprays, they have come down like anything. That's why I said people should try that and share their, experience with that.
Sure, sir. It was a wonderful idea. We'll definitely try and let you know, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Munka, hello.
Yes, sir. Please, sir. आप अनम्यूट क्यों हो गए? आप म्यूट हो गए, अनम्यूट कीजिए, सर.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
One question. So
Yeah.
when we should start the immunotherapy and what are the indications of immunotherapy?
Sir, I said when the conventional treatment fails, but as Dr. Satish said, there is no harm if there is a clear-cut history and patient, you don't want to waste time on that, you can go for it. But as I said, the allergic testing, which Satish has also agreed, that most of the tests are done based on the lab substances, and the dust of Bhagalpur may not be same that of an industrial town. So that is to be understood. So first 3 portions I said, avoidance of the allergy and the conventional treatment. And if there is anything like DNS and those things to be treated first. If they fail in I send my protocol, then only I go for immunotherapy.
Okay, sir.
And I don't do it myself. I send it to the concerned person because let them prepare the allergens of the local place where they are staying, and accordingly they should do it. So what Dr. Satish said, some companies are making based on the place where they are posted. So that's very good, sir.
Okay, sir.
Prakash Munga, sir.
Yeah, please, sir.
Agila Sami.
Yeah, Aila.
One comment on Meenish thing. He said post-nasal neurectomy cause crusting and everything. In my 9 years of experience, it doesn't cause, because we are denervating only 2/3 nerve supply only. The posterior inferior nasal nerve we are not touching, so it doesn't cause crusting or anything. And as Dr. Satish told you, we can, when there is an allergy element along with other sinusitis or other disease, you can always combine this surgery. It is a very simple surgery.
Yeah.
All it takes 1 to 2 minutes, and it doesn't produce any side effects. So you can always combine. And now to finish, the Munga sir, you have done an excellent presentation, but one clarification. You
Yes,
are
sir.
repeatedly telling dust causing allergy. Is dust really cause allergy? Because allergy is caused by only a proteinaceous material. Dust doesn't cause proteinaceous material. Only the house dust might, fecal material has proteinaceous material. That can cause the allergy. But
Actually,
dust is an irritant.
okay.
Dust is an irritant. But you told cold wind in the initial time that can cause allergy. Cold wind is an irritant, but it
Yes.
doesn't cause allergy.
Agreed.
Only
So-
proteinaceous material can
So
cause allergy.
what you said, irritant and allergy, yes, you are very correct. I probably
Irritant is
didn't.
different and allergy is different.
Yes, I didn't differentiate the two. Irritants are also the which makes symptoms of rhinitis should be kept away. I made it very clear, and I never said that irritants, allergens, they are two different things. Yes, Navneet,
And-
something wanted to tell. Navneet Mukul.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Good
go
evening,
ahead.
sir.
Go ahead, Ahila.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for the allergy testing also, they don't do testing for dust. They do test for dust might allergen only, because that only has the proteinaceous material.
Basically, I was trying to read the dust. What is the dust? Dust, if you see, it's a full chapter. You Google it and you will find what dust may contain. With the dust, it is not only the coal dust or the, something. They are always mixed thing, and chemically, there are many things into it. So we do not know really for what we are responsible. I said about the bed. A person just changed the bed and he was all right. So there was probably bed mites. There may be some mites in that.
Yeah.
mixed disease.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
Dr.
you.
Navneet wanted to tell something, please. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. It was a very nice presentation, sir. We learned a few new things. I mean, for treatment for allergic rhinitis, drugs are very limited. We can count on fingers. There are few immunotherapies and all. The new thing which we learned today is about the surgery and the mustard oil thing.
Okay.
Regarding my experience, what I want to share that I would like to stress upon the history. I mean, the exposure history, the allergens, the awareness of
Yes.
allergens. That is the most important part. And in my practice, what I would stress upon is like, maximum exposure time. I mean, what are the things which we expose the most? And by taking the history, we came to know about the allergen and then avoidance of allergen. This is the most important aspect for the management of allergic rhinitis. What I feel.
I think if you have seen my first few slides, I
Yeah,
mentioned
yes,
it that
Yes,
the
sir.
history taking, aggravating, and relieving factors are very important. And
Very important.
the examination, you just confirm the symptoms which are causing, say, rhinorrhea, whether there is rhinorrhea or not, or there is something wrong in or not. I
Right.
think anybody else have to say anything? I think I thank all of you from core of my heart to join me on a very trivial and small topic. When Satish ji told me yesterday, I said, boss, I don't know if I can come up to expectation of the audience, because I will be talking something very basic.
No,
And that I
you
always
spoke
do,
very
sir.
well. You
Oh,
spoke
thank you,
very
sir.
well, and you had a galaxy of people. Imagine Satish Jain coming on
Yeah,
for
yeah,
allergic rhinitis, the big Ayla Swami, Simab.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it was really wonderful. For a,
Wonderful,
Dr.
sir,
Rupali,
and-
if you are around, want to comment something? She is also doing a lot of, she was there. Dr. Rupali, can you unmute if you are here? Anybody for that matter, I
Satish,
should.
Satish,
Yes, sir.
I have a question for you.
Sir.
I mean, what is the role of this mupolizumab or other things in allergy? Do they really have a role?
Not
The,
really. Not
the
really.
monoclonal
See,
antibodies? No, no.
allergy doesn't give a generalized rise in IgE.
Yes.
Okay.
If there is a systemic rise in IgE, it can help. But
Yeah.
this is an allergen specific rise in IgE.
Okay, 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 okay.
Like sir has mentioned, there are so many allergens, and these allergens are environment specific. There may be certain allergens in Rajasthan which may not be prevalent in Bangalore.
Yeah.
So the testing should be according to the region where you are doing. Like in our region, the kikar is a very common allergen.
Yeah.
So you have to take into consideration particular allergens which are prevalent in your region for the testing. And
yeah,
this rise in IgE is allergen specific.
Okay.
So the role of anti-IgE in all those drugs are of no value in treating allergic rhinitis.
Okay.
And this immunotherapy, particularly, it has been proven,
Yeah.
changes the IgE to IgG because it is sensitization.
Yes.
And I think immunotherapy techniques have also improved over a period of time.
Yes, yes. Like Prakash
Isn't it?
Mukherjee
Yeah.
has already mentioned, you are
Yeah.
doing, subnormal doses to sensitize. This is what the concept of immunotherapy is.
One thing
Over the
just
period
comes
of time, the IgE converts to IgG. That's how it works.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
comes
Okay.
to my mind, just something which I'm thinking out loud, sir. You mentioned about that mustard thing acting as a barrier, right? This recently we all know
Yeah.
that there's a company in India that came out with that spray which was creating a barrier onto the nasal mucosa.
Methyl cellulose. Yeah, that was Nazact.
Yes, yes. I have gone through that. Methyl cellulose dressing we used to do in general surgery. There used to be a spray. Methyl cellulose as a dressing is good. In eye you use methyl cellulose derivative to just keep it wet. But in the nasal cavity, number one, the efficacy stays for a very short time and it forms lot of crust. Basically that dries up in the nose. Yes, Satish. Dr. Satish wanted to tell something about
Yeah, yeah.
methyl
Let
cellulose.
Satish tell. Yeah.
What Simon was said is a different target. So actually, can I say two lines about it?
Take 2 paragraphs.
Actually, allergic has a known cascade. The allergen, the person comes in contact with the allergen and an eosinophilic driven mast cell degranulation happens. The histamine is released and the histamine acts on the histamine receptors and that's how it acts. And then the systemic reflex mechanism also helps, the nervous reflex mechanism through the posterior nasal. Now the effect comes by means of vasodilatation and all. So we are targeting at different levels. Like mustard oil is targeting, it is preventing the allergen contact to the rest of the system. This antihistamine is competitively blocking the histamine receptor, so that the histamine, whatever is released, is not acting on the receptor. Then this posterior nasal neurectomy is blocking the effector mechanism of posterior nasal nerve, resulting in vasodilatation. Everything working at a different level, which we are trying to implement.
No, but Satish, that methyl cellulose का Nazact spray जो आया था ना, that was also like forming a film to block the ये. But I'm just wondering out loud why that didn't work in India.
So it can work to some extent. What I mean, in mild cases, like sir has already mentioned about the category, in mild cases where patient can maintain, himself symptom free with minimal nasal sprays or something like methyl cellulose or mustard oil or whatever, you can get along with that. But in moderately severe symptoms, you can't run all these things for long.
Yes.
That's how in the present times the role of immunotherapy has emerged, because that's the only thing which can change the natural course of disease. With the patient, we are making him sensitized. We are giving patient who is his body is considering that certain thing as a poison. We are giving them slow poison in terms of low doses to sensitize that it no longer gives him a symptoms like he was getting otherwise. So that's a different strategy.
In fact, Satish.
Sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
That's the only thing which can change the natural course of disease. in long run.
In course of my presentation, I said how the spontaneous sensitization takes place.
Yes.
That was with the low dose exposure. That is basically, I feel if one can go for it, it is good. See, I am of a person of the opinion is do the minimum required and patients should get the maximum benefit.
Yeah.
When I said about the in place of cellulose, I read about it. But why mustard oil? It is easily available in each household. They will not think it was in the habit since ages or the generations they are using it. And it does not cause any paraphernalinoma or granuloma or something like that. Yes, sir. Please. Please, Satish.
Yes, sir. Can I make a point, sir? So, majority
Yes,
of the
sir, please.
patient, we have to follow what sir has mentioned in his lecture. Avoidance of allergens, mustard oil, which can make a coating to prevent allergen contact, pharmacotherapy,
Yes,
because
sir.
these are the measures by means of which majority of the patient
Mainstay.
we can treat. Immunotherapy reserved for certain group of patients, not for all, and it's not all that easy. There are a lot of reactions associated with it, a lot of legal issues associated with the availability of allergens,
Yes.
immunotherapy, and the long-term maintenance of that and the cost. Everything is limiting factor. So that should be reserved for less than 5% of the patient overall. If you see, if
And
you are
Satish
treating
ji, there
100
is
patients of allergic rhinitis, less than 5 actually are requiring and able to maintain the immunotherapy.
And Dr. Satish, you will agree with me, you have to get the right person to do it. Cost is a factor, but the right person to do is again a factor. In many of the say, B on C city town, you don't get a person. Mostly the technicians, they try to do something and they, doing half the job.
No, but whatever you say, the best cost-effective treatment is to give the appropriate treatment. That's all.
Sir, prevention.
Yes.
The measures to prevent
Prevention.
the allergen contact, like sir said, mustard oil is very good. We tell patient by means of history, we can get to know whether it is a dust mite allergy, what is a
Yeah.
seasonal allergy. Like the patient gets up in the morning from bed and starts sneezing. It is almost always a dust mite, and that's why we advocate to take care of, your blankets, your bed sheets and everything to sterilize from the dust mite and all those things. So measures are taken according to the allergen. So first strategy is prevention. Like sir said, the next is pharmacotherapy. And in certain cases which are really severe, difficult to manage, then only immunotherapy.
Sir, 80%, 80-90% cases becomes all right with the first three, that is avoidance and then the pharmacotherapy. And probably we don't have to, and I always allow, slow desensitization, as you said, because we don't get the real experts who are doing it, and it is cost is involved, and there has to be an accuracy, sir. That you will agree with me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I tell you, sir, accuracy of a skin prick test has to be highest. The reason is you are inoculating the antigen into the skin, but it is associated with the risk of anaphylaxis. Blood test, if you are getting done, it cannot be 100%. You cannot be 100% sure because you have to rely on the machine.
Yes.
There is a machine in between the allergen and the patient's blood. So the direct test is skin prick, but it has a possibility of reaction sometime. But now with the so diluted skin prick test, the chances of reactions are very less. It has to be done in hospital setting. Like immunotherapy, also injectable, you have to give every time in hospital settings. There are a lot of, it's not all that easy to give immunotherapy to every patient. So you have to select patients.
Yes.
Majority of the time, what you said exactly.
Explained when you were talking about the allergic rhinopharyngitis. Thank you, sir. So if anybody else has to say anything, because this is an endless discussion, we can go on and on. And if anybody has to make any comment or question.
It's always pleasure to hear Satish talking. You always pick up a point or two every day. Every day. Every day. If this is not education, what is it?
दीपक आपने मेरे मुंह की बात ले ली, इसीलिए मैं डॉक्टर सतीश को ज्यादा बोलने दे रहा हूँ, नहीं तो मेरे जैसा
We learned a lot, sir. The pharmacology, you have a thorough knowledge of pharmacology, and that is really useful.
Thank you, sir.
But
Thank you, sir.
I keep on saying this, Munkaji. See, It's our fortune that we are on the planet at the same time this fellow Satish Jain is there.
Yes.
Oh,
Learning
definitely.
is so
it's our
easy.
pleasure.
Learning is so easy.
We all are
believe
learning
me.
from each other, sir. Everybody is doing. You know, Srinivas Dorasala is excelled
Yeah,
in
yeah,
vertigo
yeah.
treatment like anything.
Yeah.
Ayla Swami sir introduced that propagated posterior neurectomy. We have been
Yeah.
following. Seema,
And Ayla seems to have so much
we are learning
energy
a lot
in
of things from
academics.
him.
Satish ji,
And many
Ahila,
things.
Satish ji, Ahila Swami has introduced most of the face in local anesthesia, and
Yes.
some of his technique fascinated me. I have done in the same way that Ahila does. Of course, I cannot simulate him, but I have learned a lot by looking his video and talking to him. I talked to him, "Ki, now tell me, Ahila, what should I do?" And he is a guy who thoroughly, I mean, appreciate everybody.
Yes.
First time we met, it was a workshop in Raipur, Ahila, when that is tracheostomy,
Yes,
and
sir.
this
Yes, sir.
man made a
Raipur was, sir.
YouTube video, Bokaro Munka technique of small incision tracheostomy.
And
I
Satish,
like
you know,
him
made our
very much.
evenings
I am
meaningful.
fortunate to get, I mean, blessing of
You
all
know?
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Imagine
you,
I
sir.
can finish 1 hour walk listening to Satish.
So, நாளைக்கு 11 மணிக்கு
I'm
அனஸ்தீசியா
just
பார்த்துடலாம்.
surprised at how is Satish out of the OT right now.
Arey, boss, sir, you know, I told sir I'm looking forward to this talk. This is such an important topic. Every fourth patient you see in your practice is allergic rhinitis.
Yes.
Practically everywhere. This is globally
Yeah.
same problem or same magnitude.
No, when you said I am coming, I said if I don't do justice, please don't take me out
It
of
was
your
amazing,
list.
sir, amazing.
I requested him.
That is
Yeah,
called
yeah.
Manovaignanic Dabav. You know, when Satish is in the audience,
No,
the
sir.
tremors come automatically.
No.
I agree.
Deepak, I have been associated with him since now couple of months, and I have seen his
Yeah,
face. I tell you, he is a person who makes you very comfortable.
Yeah.
Because when he talks of big things and I make some comment, I said, is
Yes.
it not irrelevant? If there is
Yes.
something, please tell me. And he
Yes.
is the guy who makes you most comfortable. So I
See, when
appreciate
we
from core
talk
of my
about
heart.
history, we see BC and AD, isn't it? Similarly, for me, ENT has been BS and AS before Satish and after Satish.
Oh, come on, sir. It
After I
cannot
met
be. It
Satish.
cannot be. We are learning from each other. I remember I never did a sleep apnea surgery before. Once I saw long back, it was so many years back, Seema's presentation.
Yeah.
And I started doing after that. Then I went into books and learned from others' experience. That's how we learn from each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Everything you have to learn from,
Frankly
someone.
speaking, sir, we always learn from each other, not only from doctors, we learn from each and every guy. Our patients are our best teachers, sir. So, and Simam, I tell you, when I made a presentation on sleep apnea, that was based on your stimulation. So he is also doing fantastic.
Yeah.
And I am happy to see that most of us are, getting along well, recognize each other. The weaknesses we leave apart and we take the strength part of it. That is the best part of the good human being.
Okay, question.
And Satish is the
I
best
like
example.
the way you started when you said when two people working together get allergic to each other. Frankly, we are not allergic to all of us. That's the better.
No. See, and I tell you, boss, दुनिया में रहना है, जाओगे कहाँ? Allergy. And I tell you, that is exactly the example I give to my patient. What is allergy? How to get rid of it? जब आपको साथ ही रहना है, then you start, see, it was an allergy, then denial, then you start ignorance, and then acceptance. And a time come when you are getting dependent on that. So this is just like a human life. So we can go on and on. Probably the pharma guys may be little, Yeah. Anybody else? If anybody has to say, otherwise we close our talk.
Thank you.
With permission of all.
But can I ask a question, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, Satish sir was saying for the from the dust and the dust mite to prevent. What advice do you give, sir?
Okay.
Prevention of the prevention method of treating the allergy with regards to dust allergy due to dust. Satish sir, how to prevent the dust mite one, sir?
See, dust mite is something. House
Sir.
dust mite is there where you live, in the environment you live. So you have to improve your environment. So
Sir.
what we advocate our patient, first of all, where he, sleeps in the bed, bed covers, bed sheet, pillow cover, he has to rinse in the boiled water. We advocate them to rinse in the boiled water at least twice a week to kill the dust
Okay.
mite, number one.
Number one.
Secondly, we ask them to tell whoever is wiping your floor to
Sir.
mix some mustard oil in the bottle of your in the bucket of water by means of you wipe your floor. So that
Okay,
a little, 1 or 2 teaspoonfuls of mustard oil in a bucket of water by means of which you can wash your floor will allow the dust mite to settle down. And what you breathe in from that environment is much better than what actually it was before. So how dust mite allergy arises from the atmosphere where you're living in, and you have to improve your atmosphere. So these are the simple ways you can advocate your patients to improve the situation.
Sir,
Decrease exposure. Yes.
Sir, very clear, sir. Sir, one more observation I'd like to share. Sir, I was having during my MBBS lot of nasal allergy. Psychological portion also plays the role, sir, in this. Somehow, I observed so.
Psychological.
Any psychological role. When I try to ignore it, I lost that allergy. That's one observation, sir, whether I'm not sure of it.
You mean to
See,
ask
I will tell if your patient is feeling good, you should feel happy about it. That's what I can say. If your patient is happy, you should feel happy about it. So, if anybody else want to speak anything,
Naim Munka Sahab, I
or
think
we
it is
ask the Cadila
7:48.
guys to take over.
We have completed 1 hour and 50
Yeah,
minutes.
that's why I say.
Yeah.
No, Dr. Satish was there since throughout, and I am thankful
Satish,
to
as usual, was
SP Singh and
amazing.
PK Singh.
We are
They
thankful
chaired
to
the
all of you.
session.
Amazing. Yeah. I agree with what Ashish Bhumkar says. Satish is an alien who is on this planet by mistake.
Deepak, I will tell you, there are people like Satish and you and most of us who care for each other. Satish is here because he cares for me, he cares for us. Let me be very honest. He doesn't have to learn Dr. Munka what he says.
No,
Basically,
really.
as he said, I agree.
Really,
The
want
mutual
Munka Sahab.
understanding, but yes.
Munka
Yes,
Sahab,
sir.
shall I tell you something? You
Yes, sir.
took my name in the same breath along with Satish. मैं आज जाके एक फलूदा खा लूँगा. He is the
Science
best
is
guru I've ever
evolving.
had.
Science is evolving. We have to learn more and more. It is never ending. And
Yeah.
the best way is
Also,
to
they are
learn from others' experience.
Yeah.
The same boat, and I like
Yes.
Satish's approach, learning from each other, and always interactions does help us, always.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir, today it
Bye,
was a very
Satish.
great opportunity
Bye.
for all of us.
Yeah.
It was a very good discussion, good information. To see you all, it was a very great thing for today evening. I must congratulate Dr. Munka for this evening. I am very thankful to you, sir. And your presentation was extraordinary and very helpful. And I think everything you have touched, most of the times and most of the
The pharma guys, आ जाइए आप लोग.
So thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, I think Dr. Satish, let us conclude then.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah, please. Pharma guys, कहाँ है वो निशांत?
जी सर
Yeah,
मैं
please.
मुकेश here from Ahmedabad.
मुकेश जी conclude कीजिए ना.
Sir, thank you, sir. I have an important announcement, sir. After the end of the presentation, we have come up with a Corona Suraksha policy cover, which is completely free of the cost for the doctors. That I will be announcing. Before that, I just wanted to play a small 2-minute video, sir, with your permission.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
We would all agree that Namaste is the perfect greeting for the new normal. Apart from inducing positive vibes in the environment, Namaste also helps us practice social distancing. It is the perfect way helping us fight the virus. Just like you, we are thankful to healthcare workers like you, risking their lives every day to help us all fight the virus. You make the country a perfect place to live in. We also strive every day to make this country perfect with our latest innovation in the management of allergies. We are one step closer to this dream. The currently available antihistamines lack the balance of safety and efficacy, making the lives of patients miserable, and everyone deserves a perfect solution. Introducing a perfect balance of safety and efficacy, Bilaked M. Bilaked M contains the perfect pair in treating allergic rhinitis. 20 milligrams of bilastine and 10 milligrams of montelukast. Bilaked M comes with the advantage of NOC. Bilaked M is non-sedative. Bilaked M boasts of the fastest onset of action within 30 minutes. And Bilaked M is cardiac safe. Just within 4 weeks, Bilaked M is effective in reducing the symptoms of allergic rhinitis. The perfect dose of Bilaked M is 1 tablet an hour before food or 2 hours after food. Did you know 53% of allergic rhinitis patients also suffer from allergic conjunctivitis? And these patients deserve a perfect solution for allergic rhinoconjunctivitis. Presenting the novel antihistamine Bilaked containing 20 milligrams of bilastine. And Bilaked comes with the advantage of NOC. Bilaked also meets the recommended criteria of ARIA. The perfect dose of Bilaked M is 1 tablet 1 hour before food and 2 hours after food. Allergic rhinoconjunctivitis also affects kids. For their perfect day, they need a perfect solution so that they can go to school every day, get quality sleep, and can concentrate on their studies. For allergic rhinoconjunctivitis in kids, presenting the perfect antihistamine, Bilaked syrup containing 2.5 milligrams per milliliter of bilastine. It is available in 60 milliliter bottle for a perfect outcome. Bilaked syrup comes with an advantage of NOC, has high affinity to H1 receptors, and is safe and well tolerated. The perfect dose of Bilaked syrup is 4 milliliters, 1 hour before food or 2 hours after food. Bilaked syrup is available in delicious strawberry flavor for the little ones. Cadila Pharma has been serving the nation since 1951 with their affordable and quality medicines. Let's support the initiative of Atmanirbhar Bharat for a perfect future and prescribe Bilaked.
Thank you, doctors, for that patient listening to this video of Bilaked, which Cadila has come up with Bilastine. Sir, I just wanted to have a small announcement for all the doctors who are attending this webinar, sir. Just give me a moment. Sir, Cadila has been serving the nation from last 66 years, and the care continues. Sir, we understand what the doctors today are taking the pain by treating a patients. They were the God always, as always, but today we do understand what is the importance, and Cadila understands that. So we have come up with one of the campaign for all the doctors who are attending Dr. Munka's presentation today and who all were present today. So we are providing the Corona Suraksha Kavach policy for all the doctors who are attending this. This is the small gesture from Cadila Pharmaceuticals. We understand what is the importance. And this is over and above whatever this policy we are providing, what the policy you are holding for your personal, this one, for any of the use. So we are covering all the doctors for 3.5 months. And for God's sake, this disease should not happen to anyone, but 2 lakhs rupees insurance coverage is being given. The only thing is that minimum age requirement is 18 years and the maximum is 65 years. And the policy will be for the individual basis. And as the documentation is required for any of the policies, the general documentation, our representatives, our field staffs will be there in touch to take up those. So this is one of the gesture which just I wanted to announce through this platform of Dr. Munka's. So thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Munka.
Mr.
Thank
Mukesh,
Ji, sir.
about that Suraksha Kavach, I wanted to make this point, and earlier also I have made it point.
Right.
You please do it in immediately, say within a day or two, because policy starts from 15th day of you make the policy.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
because last webinar it was by Dr. Hers. That time also you announced it's almost a week, 10 days past. So please make it as soon as possible. Then only it have some weightage. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure.
So
The
that's
thing
it.
is that, sir,
Yeah, please.
the only constraint, sir, the only constraint, we are not able to reach the doctors, but over the phone, whatever the documentation, like your PAN card.
You can get it over
Yes.
WhatsApp, no problem.
Yes,
Because you are
yes, yes, yes.
registering the doctors, their number is with you. You can get the
Right.
documents, whatever is required. But do it
Right,
fast.
Sajid.
That I told last time also.
Sure,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Thank you for emphasizing, and thank you, Dr. Munka, for taking out his precious time and enlightening us with his expertise and knowledge on the management of allergy. And it was a wonderful show. And topmost ENT fraternity was there in this forum, in this dais, and having a cross pollination of ideas and thought process. So once again, I must be thankful to Dr. Satish Jain, Dr. Deepak Haldipur, Dr. CMAB, Dr. Ahilya Sami. I'm just taking the name who were quite proactive. And thanks to all the attendee doctors who are a part of this webinar. Once again, thanks, Dr. Munka, for your valuable views.
From
Thank
my side, from core of my heart, I thank all my colleagues who made this talk, which is a very small topic. They made it so informative, and at the end of the talk, probably each one of us have got 1 or 2 points where we can change our practice and can benefit by it. Thank you, Dr. Everybody, I will not name anybody because everybody has contributed by their comments or participation. Thanks, Satish.
Right.
Thanks, Dr. PK Singh. Thank SP Singh, Simam, Ahila, everybody, Srinivas, Deepak. I will not name anybody because I may leave some name. I don't want to name everybody. Some of the people who are not right now or who didn't speak, they were also have attended and they sent me a message. Sir, we were watching, but because of some constraint, we could not attend the full. Don't worry, I will ask these guys to get the recording and most of the time we will do it. Thank you everyone for joining it. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Namaskar. Good night.
Thank you.